I'm Dr. Kemi Lawrence, and I just did a Yoruba version of the Mohbad update. I'm going to do an English version now so that you can all understand where I'm coming from. I got a message on September 12th of 2023 from someone in the industry telling me that Mohbad had died. The person went on to tell me that he had a fight with his wife on the staircase, and some of the railing on the staircase broke and they became pieces of weapons, and he was stabbed by his wife. There were at least 14 people living in Mohbad's house, and that was one of the eyewitnesses. In journalism, you protect the source, which I did. I have given you guys a whole lot of information and facts about this case as an investigative journalist. No one should doubt my work, okay? Nobody should doubt my work. I solved 13 murders in Toronto, Canada, and you heard what the Toronto police and Peel police said. Okay, if I can do that as an investigative journalist, I can solve any murder. At the end of the day, what happened outside Mohbad's house with all the people waiting outside crying when the nurse arrived? Mohbad was already dead by the time the nurse arrived. Look at how the inquest has been ridiculed. By the way, if you guys understand Yoruba and you listen to the Yoruba version, you must listen to the English version because I'm going to add a little bit more here. Today is December 6, 2024, and it's Friday afternoon in Nigeria. Now, what I'm basically saying now is that the way this case has been ridiculed and abandoned and rigged with all kinds of lies is phenomenal. For example, look at the autopsy and the toxicology test. Why send a toxicology test to the United States when somebody died here and there could be many places you could do that? They moved it over there, and then they took some of Mohbad's fans on a, I don't know whether to call it a helter-skelter or a hide-and-seek, where some of them went to the lab in America listed on a fake toxicology report that was released sometimes around May on Cable NG. I went on Daddy Freeze, and I said on that Daddy Freeze show that this tox test is fake. Looking at the drugs they found in Mohbad's system, diphenhydramine injection is not marketed as injection in Nigeria, as well as acetaminophen, which is paracetamol, in Mohbad's system after 7 days. Those drugs have what they call a half-life, the time for drugs to disintegrate in the body. When you bury somebody for 7 days and then exhume them, some of these drugs have gone. They're not supposed to be showing in any kind of toxicology test. I was right, because somewhere in the fall, I believe it could be August or September, the Lagos state government announced that they're getting ready to announce Mohbad's toxicology test that it has now arrived from America, twisting everything and making Nigerians like, wait a minute, what was that other toxicology test we saw? So that wasn't even real. And it was posted by a major news platform. There's a lot of distortion in this case. In September, for 2 weeks, I helped the NDLEA, the Nigerian police, and any other, even the DSS agencies, to kind of sort out what needs to be investigated here. Didn't tell anybody, it's not anyone's business. In the DM, a lot went on, okay? The NDLA had to clear themselves because they didn't poison Mohbad, according to Tonto Dike and Yabojo, who literally defamed them. They were almost arrested by the DSS. At the end of the day, Chairman Mara put his stand and they wrote a letter that Mohbad was not even arrested during the raid. He got away, but he had to go to rehab and do all the, he had to turn himself in and do all the requirements. I have been on this case forever. When Naira Marley was fighting Mohbad in October of 2022 online, I was the only person that intervened in that fight. Many of you kept quiet in the industry. Till today, the industry is quiet. Tiwa Savage, Chike that he did a song with, almost everybody, Soso Berekon and even Cubana Chief Priest, none of them have actually called or visited Mohbad's father on a condolence visit. Now, I will say that based on the fact that I interviewed Mohbad's father. They could have done it after my interview, but what I know is that they didn't do it, and it was almost a year. A year came by, the anniversary was done. There was a lot of shenanigans going on about the case with the mother, sister-in-law, and everyone. The mother did an interview with Punch. Karima does a live video every day on TikTok, collecting tons and tons of money because TikTok is monetized in America. At the end of the day, Karima said something on her last video that the Nigerian police has been heavily bribed not to arrest Wunmi and Darusha. She said that on a live video. Wunmi and Darusha are the ones behind the death. That's what she said. Now, Darusha said he embalmed the body. Darusha said he cut the hair with somebody. There was a lot Darusha said. And then he turned around and said he was not the embalmer because the police interrogated him on that. After the police had closed the case and moved it to the DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, they told Iyabo Ojo that she's no longer wanted, that the case is no longer in their hands. They were getting irritated with Iyabo. But most importantly, as of recently, I would say around October, I got a email that was forwarded to me that came from DCP Ayilara. Ayilara has since passed away. He was the head of the homicide Akmansi. DCP Ayilara mentioned in the email, it was an authentic email by the way, mentioned in the email that Kemi Olunloyo has solved the case. That's what he said. And she's possibly the best investigative journalist in this country. I don't know who's the best one in this country. I love Fisayo Shoyombo. He's a great, great, great person. But I'm not for the competition. Okay, I will be 31 years in this profession, and I solved 13 murders in Toronto, Canada, something the Toronto police commended me for in major newspapers. Okay, I'm not really for the trophies and the best, but I'm for justice for the people. Even though I'm not an activist, I don't activate. I'm not an activist as in I'm not a human rights activist. The only activism I'm involved in is gun violence and drug abuse. So the people doing justice for Mohbad, the basic bottom line, I can't join that group only because I'm a journalist. You don't drag journalists into stories. However, investigating the cases and what Ayilara said in the email, it shocked me. He also mentioned that Iyabo and Tonto were running Gistlover. We already know that. And, you know, calling me the best, possibly the best investigative journalist in Nigeria, and I've solved the case. I know I solved the case. I tweeted 3 times that Wunmi killed Mohbad. And I tweeted it to my chest. Okay, I know I'm not in the country, but if I were in the country, they might have tried to invite me or arrest me or something, but I don't give a damn about that. I'm not in Nigeria. I've left now 2 years. Okay, but I'm investigating that case. I spent a lot of money on that case, all my monetization revenue from all my 5 platforms. You see, when you do that, you want to put your money into something and invest it. Okay, and most people want a break-even point. I wasn't looking for a break-even point. 10,200. Almost 4 months of monetization on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything. I used that money, and it was a lot of work I had to do. There were 4 interns, and I would send them from their houses in Aja and Songoteru to go to Ikorodu. Just one trip on the Uber is 25,000. From Ikorodu to Songoteru, traffic and everything. Imagine, 2 days, 50,000. It added up. Then we have to file the stories. We have to file the stories. I have to do the videos. You know IJ Mohbad. I did a lot of filing myself. A lot of the videos myself. Of course, I'm the one videotaping. And at the end of the day, the police is just doing wishy-washy, and they're not prepared to to arrest anybody. The CC camera captured quite a lot of things. Mr. Yomi Fabi has tried his best to decipher what happened with the CC camera and how that estate had copies of the CC. And, you know, you see what Mr. Fabi did about it. At the end of the day, the police didn't even bother to even examine everything, Mr. Fabi was doing, comparing and all that. Because if they did, it wouldn't take almost 1.5 years. We're still waiting for results on this case. This murder has turned into a cold case. That's what they call it in America. A cold case, a case that's been forgotten. We can't find the killer. When you know the wife did this, I asked Wunmi to give up herself and turn herself in many times in tweets and get a manslaughter charge. A manslaughter charge could be 3 years. It was an accident, but she hasn't done that. The cause of death of Mohbad started with an argument in the car that night over the paternity of Liam, the little boy. And I said, this boy is a Teligoni baby. People started Googling the word Teligoni. The Teligoni inheritance, where a woman may have a baby, okay, and the baby can actually resemble past lovers or past men that they slept with. The baby can also resemble Mohbad, but it's not Mohbad that fathered the baby. This is why in Teligoni you can rule it out with a DNA test. Wunmi Adebanjo has done 2 DNA tests, one with Iyabo, one with Tonto in Abuja, and both came out negative for Mohbad. She says she will do a central one once and for all. She hasn't. Nigerian police, please do your job. Let's know what's going on and arrest Wumi. Thank you.